Go ahead. Well, hey kids, how's everybody out there in YouTube land this evening, huh? Sorry I got a little bit of a late start, but had to make myself a sundowner, so. And a good one it is this evening too, a good one. Very, very pleasant. Well, let me get myself organized here. Get all comfy and set up for a while so I can chat with my good friends. I'm gonna put you guys on the winch this evening. You guys are all gonna get mounted onto the winch. That way you don't go anywhere and I don't go anywhere. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see. Anyhow, let me set my phone to the right setting. There we go. Let me see what I missed in the chat already. So, hey, Michael P., what's up, man? Hey, Smoking, how you doing? Oh, Smoking, let's not even go there, man. Hey, Pilot. Hey, Douglas, what's up? Frank, Brad, Ruthless Ronnie, Johnny Hag, 9mm James. Oh, man. How's everybody doing this evening? I am doing awesome. I had a really great day. Got to visit with my good buddy Douglas now that he's home from the hospital. Yay, Doug's home from the hospital. But yeah, the welding turned into a list of more jobs that need to be done. We'll just leave it at that, baby. Oh gosh, no, it was sort of funny. So we got to Douglas's house today, and doing finer than a frog's hair here in North Carolina. Oh man, that's awful, Michael. I hope you're twice as jumpy. Anyhow, I made it over to Douglas's this morning. His beautiful wife came and picked me up this morning, and we went over there and hung out with Doug. Woke him up, actually. Doug was napping, which is good. He needs his rest. He really does. But anyhow, we went ahead and went to the propane store, the welding supply store, and got the proper wire, the right stainless steel wire. We went over to Doug's house and we got his welder out and we got the wire installed and we got everything all set up and ready to go and rolled the welder out to the garage. And Doug's got he's got a long heavy gauge wire, sort of 20 amp, actually 30 amp 220 volt extension cord set up in his garage. Beautifully designed setup, actually, really nice, on this big long cord that can be rolled out somewhere into the middle of his driveway, actually. So it was really nice setup. So we pulled that out and we plugged the welder in. No power. Okay. So I tracked down the wire and retraced it back to a breaker box that was in the off position. But for some reason it had a couple pieces of tape on it, kind of holding it in the off position, which I thought was a little odd, but okay. So I traced it back to that, and I opened that box up, and everything looked all right in there. So I closed it up and I turned the breaker on. No power. So I opened up the main breaker box there in Doug's garage, and one of the 20 amp double pole breakers was in the off position. So I flipped that to the on position to find out that that's his heater in his garage. That was the last thing we needed today. It was pretty hot out already. So that didn't work. So I turned that back off and looked around, and everything looked fine. Everything was right where it needed to be. So in the box that the generator extension cord was mounted to, it's got a big on-off throw arm, but it had two 30 amp old style bus fuses. And so I thought, well, that's great. I'll just pull those bus fuses out. One of them must be bad. One of those must have tripped. That's got to be it, because everything else looked to be in perfect order. So it's like, okay, so we pulled those out, ran to Home Depot. I went in, I bought two new 30 amp, they buy them in pairs. So I bought two new 30 amp ones. They're like 18 bucks and change or something. So I went and bought those. We brought them back to Douglas's house. I installed those, turned the power back on, turned the breaker back on. No power. So now I was like, okay, something's got to be seriously wrong here, because everything looks connected, everything looks fine, everything must be it must be something, I don't know, weird. So I poked around. I opened up Doug's electrical panel, and took the 4 screws out, took the cover plate off his main panel in his garage, and I was sitting there looking at it, and there's 3 20-amp double pole breakers, one of which was wired up to his air compressor, one of which was wired up to the aforementioned electric heater, and one of which was hooked up to some wires that went up to the ceiling and back towards the back of the garage, where Doug said there was another 20-amp extension cord, whatever, back there, but it was it was buried in the back of his garage with all kinds of tools and car parts and stuff in the way, right? So I was sort of looking at it, I'm like, it's something, it doesn't look like there's enough wires coming into the panel box for his welder connection. So I looked the heavy wire that came out of this on-off switch, this shut-off for the extension cord, and I followed that wire. It went through a corner of the garage, and I pulled on that, and that all seems tight. And then it was poked in behind the electric panel, just into the back. So I gave a pull back on it to see if I could see any wires moving inside the electrical panel. Well, when I pulled back on it, the wire just came out. Apparently, the electrician that Doug hired never wired the extension cord into his panel box. They mounted a brand new, disconnect to it, and they ran the wire over to the panel box. Then they never brought it into the panel box and connected it to anything. It was just the bare wire cut off, literally just stuck behind the electrical box. So it looked like it was connected, but it was not connected. So back over to Home Depot, we bought another 30-amp breaker, and we bought a panel box, clamp, wire clamp thing. And so on Thursday, on Thursday morning, we'll go back over to Doug's, and the first thing I'm going to do is install the breaker into his panel box and get that all wired up for him, so that the generator can have power. And then we'll get to the welding. But right now we have everything all set up. We have all the parts we need, all the tools in the right places. I just got to bring a utility knife over there with me, and it's all that's going to be needed. So I imagine they're going to pick me up, I don't know, maybe 10-ish or something like that on Thursday. Be to Doug's house by 11. By 1 o'clock we'll be done. It's just getting all those things organized. So the welding ordeal. The welding ordeal continues. The continuing saga of welding my push pits. But hey, it's all good. You run into these circumstances. Doug had, a professional electrician install this, and for some reason the guy just never hooked it up, for whatever reason. It was years ago that he did that. Doug's not used the welder. He just bought it as a brand new welder. He hasn't plugged it up to that spot yet, so we will see. So anyhow, let me see what I missed in the chat while I've been telling you my big old story here. So okay, first time I've been. Hey, 9mm James. Hey Frank. Hey Gene Callahan. What's up, Steve? What's going on? Hey Don. Crab Claw. Peaceful Don. What's up? Check for a thermo switch. Nope, wasn't a thermo switch. Nope. Marco, something stupid. Yep, buffering, huh? I take it you didn't have a voltmeter with you. Didn't need a voltmeter for that. Not buffering on my end at all. Doug, refresh, it's good here. Nope, Waksha, no DVOM. Hi all ass. I'm putting here, what did I miss? Okay, well, I'm not going to go through all that again. Company saved money by eliminating the washers. Yeah, on the push bit they did. Yep. Yeah, I don't need a meter for that. A meter would not. A meter's just going to show there wasn't any power. We already knew there wasn't any power. A meter would not have been of any value whatsoever. So, what kind of welder is it? It's a. I don't know, Doug. What kind of welder is it? You'll have to answer that. I don't remember off the top of my head. Never underestimate the length of any project. Isn't that the case? So, Chicago Electric 240 volt MIG. There you go. You blow Doug up. No, I didn't blow Doug up. Would have told you your fuses were good. Well, Steve, I don't see how it's possible you could possibly know that. You know, there's no way of knowing that. Okay, if I had a voltage meter, I could have tested them for continuity. Yeah, that I could have done, and that would have showed if the fuses were good. That's true, Steve. You're absolutely correct. That's the one spot where a voltage meter probably would have been handy today. But, you know, I went over to go welding. I didn't go over to be an electrician. So I didn't even think about taking a multimeter with me. I do have a multimeter. I could have brought one with me. Doug has one, but it's fried. So, but yeah, you're right. It would have showed continuity. I'll grant you that. So, oh man. When you have double the voltage, 220, what happens to the current? Nothing. No different. I was about to slap you. Okay. Just offering ideas. Hey, no problem would be. Yeah, a multimeter wouldn't have done anything except it would have told me the fuses weren't any good. And that would have saved me one trip over to Home Depot, I guess. But right now, the fuses that Doug has in there didn't have any indicator as to whether or not they were blown or not. So the good news is the ones that I bought and replaced in his panel do show whether or not they're blown or not. They have a little fusible link on the outside that gives a clear and obvious mark showing whether or not they're blown or not. So, man, I'm looking right into the sun here. So, crab claw, good and tired. How blood pressure problems? Okay, good practice. Yep. You guys, all this technical talk about so many things. Nice. Yep. Double voltage, half the current. Well, not necessarily. Any wire cut to length will be exactly too short. Yeah, that's true. Oh man, you have two hot legs and a neutral. Yes, I'm well aware of that, Frank. I know about electricity there, Frank. Yep. Hi, Carl. How you been? I'll behave. Don't block me. Popeye? All right. I'm going to give you a chance. But if you become an ass, you're gone, man. Just that simple. You know that. So, hello, dog. What you doing, huh? Lily had fun over at Doug's house today playing with Doug's dogs. Didn't you? Do you have fun over there today? I got to admit, when I got up this morning, I had a bit of a sore throat. And I actually was going to cancel out on Doug today. I wasn't feeling great this morning. But now I'm glad I went. I feel much better having now gone. So, oh, it's my vacation. Cool. Okay, fine with DC, not so good with AC. Sorry, Doug, get rested up. Yeah, Doug we kind of wore Doug out a little bit today, though. Doug's got a lot of stuff going. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to talk to you guys about something. It's single phase, Wood Beast. It's not two phase or three phase. It's single phase. It's just a standard 240 volt welder. So, have the current on AC. Not necessarily. You can double the volt. Just because you go to double voltage doesn't mean the current's in half. That's not a guarantee. Under the same draw, yeah, but just because you double double the voltage doesn't mean you necessarily cut back on the voltage. I guess to provide the same load, maybe, but how do you know how much your load's always going to be? I mean, that's always the big variable. So you have no way of controlling that. So yes, double the voltage, half the current on AC. Okay. All right, I won't argue that. Oh man, beautiful evening out here on the bay. Doug and his wife just dropped me off a little bit. Got back here to the boat, got the generator cooked, fired up, and got some stuff charging. And had to shut the generator down for the live stream because it's too noisy to do a live stream on. It's very, very bright out here this evening. The wind is blowing, so I've got the sun blowing right in my eyes. A nice little sailboat going by. I'm gonna experiment by spinning you guys around and see if you can see this, but since you guys are on the winch, there's the view looking out towards the sunset. That's the way the sunset, that's the way the sun's going to set. Let me get you turned back around here. There you go. Oh. I made an interesting cocktail for myself this evening. I took some of my mandarin orange seltzer water, into that just a little bit of grenadine, and then hit that with some vodka. And it's making a very light, refreshing, cold beverage. Kind of nice. So, just kind of nice. The guys in the water taxi tells me it's been dead on the bay today. It's been really, really quiet. In fact, he was back at his dock. He wasn't even out on a call earlier when I called him. He was on his dock, so I had to wait for him to come get me. So anyhow, guys, there's something important that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I wanted to get your perspective, especially while Douglas is on here watching. Douglas, as you guys know, is in bad physical condition, so he can't, he can't get out and do stuff like he used to, as all of us get to at some point in our life. But Doug is, he's a really bright guy, and as you guys know, he's got an exceptionally good speaking voice. He's got a face for radio, but he's a really good guy. And Lily, get back, good girl. He's a really good guy, and I've been trying to think of something that Doug could do to supplement his income to help himself out financially. That he would really enjoy, I think. And, it would be good for him to develop some more friends and some contacts and have some positive stuff going on in his life, yada, yada, all those kinds of things. Anyhow, so here's my idea. I don't know how many of you guys remember that on National Public Radio, there was a radio show called Car Talk. It was Click and Clack, the Tappet brothers, two guys that talked about vehicles on National Public Radio. People could call in, and they would call in and they would ask questions about their cars, and the guys would of course make fun of them and make fun of their cars, but usually would give them some sort of an idea. We give them a clue. My car is going up a hill and it's making this noise. It goes chitty chitty bang bang or whatever, and so they would be able to tell them, well, it may be this or it may be that. Now Doug is not just an ASC certified mechanic. Doug is way, way beyond that. In fact, he taught auto mechanics at some of the leading tech schools in the country. Doug is not just an auto mechanic, but he's an auto mechanic extraordinaire, if you will, with a big, long history of being a auto mechanics teacher and instructor for many, 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 many years. I think he taught auto mechanics for 17 years, besides what he did work-wise. And so I was thinking Doug should do a YouTube channel where he does like a car talk kind of thing. He gets on there and people just like, what the hell was that? Some boat squealing in the bay. He could get on and do like a car talk kind of thing. People could get on the chat, say, hey Doug, I've got a 71 Ford Pinto, and it's making this noise, or Doug, my new Saab is doing this, that, or the other thing, or whatever, and Doug would be able to give people some guidance and give them some instruction, and maybe help them out with understanding what their car's needs or issues are, or what if somebody needs to go out and buy a new car and they say, hey Doug, I'm thinking about going out and buying a a Ford F-150? What should I be looking for on a used Ford F-150? What do I need to avoid? What should I, that kind of stuff. I think Doug would be able to be very successful doing a YouTube channel where he just does live streams like this, kind of like NPR's Car Talk, where people would call in, but instead of calling in, people would get on the chat and say, hey, this is my problem, and this is what I need to work on, or this is what I need to look at, or this is what I went to my mechanic and this is what he told me, but I don't believe him for whatever reason. All the conversations that people could have. It just seemed like that would be a real win-win for Douglas, because it would give him something to do. I think people would reward him through PayPal or Super Chat or what have you for the good advice that he gives. Sort of on the same basis like I do my channel, but more specifically about autos and auto repairs. Anyhow, that's my idea, and I was kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. And so I'm going to ask you guys to get on the chat now, and since Doug's on watching right now, tell Doug what you think. Is that something you think would be a good idea that Doug should do? Because he could do it. So, I do mine with just my cell phone. He could do it with just his cell phone. Do you think that's something Doug could do? He got to sit there in his living room and set up his cell phone and chat with people, and I don't know. What do you guys think? And tell Doug what you think. I'd really be happy if you guys would help me twist Doug's arm into getting off the couch and doing something, doing something creative and positive and fun for Doug, And it wouldn't hurt if Doug made a buck or two, because let's face it, Doug's not exactly rolling in money, having been a auto mechanic instructor. That's not exactly high-paying gig. So, guys, I got to turn around here because I just can't stand to look in the sunlight anymore. My pupils are fried from staring in the sun. So while you guys are telling Doug what you think, I'm going to get things organized here, and I'm going to go back and look at the chat myself, see if I missed any comments I need to respond to. All right, let me go back through the chat. Probably have to go back a long way, so. Not too good with AC. Okay, Doug is the welder two-phase 3. Welder two-phase. Do those boats come with air conditioning? No. Hey Christine, how you doing? Hey Tickle Me Finn, what's up, buddy? Hey Jared. Been doing this 30 years, never heard of two-phase, single phase or three-phase. That's all there is. That's it. Yep. Pilot, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yep. You're either single phase or you're three-phase. There's no two-phase. So show us the sun. Oh look, there's no planet. X. Okay. Mackerel sky. It will rain later. Yeah, there's forecast of rain coming in. So. Great to have space and time to weld and help Carl. Yes, it is, Wood Beast. Have a nice time there. Just look at that sun, majestic. Thanks. How you feeling? You look better. Carol, I'm feeling much better, thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling much better today. Don't get too drunk. Can't expect the dog to sail the ship. Don't plan on getting drunk at all. So, do you watch Zane Green? Nope. Nope, Alexander O, I'm afraid I don't. Nope, I don't have much time to watch anybody right now. I have very limited internet access, so no such thing, but it's kind of an oddity and not used. AC is in waves. A single phase is only one wave. Take another overlapping wave is a second phase. Everybody donate to Doug. He needs it. Voiceover work. I think Carl was thinking that the power remains the same. No, I'm not saying the power remains the same, Steve. I'm saying that just because you go to 24 or you go to 220 volt instead of 110 volt, that has no bearing on how much current's being drawn. It just doesn't necessarily cut down the current. If you're powering the same device, yes, it would, but not if you're, anyhow. Lily, there's still new guys now. Oh, I like what you're going with this. Click and clack. Yep, peaceful done exactly. Click and clack Tappet Brothers. It's a flying channel called Draco. Nope. Actually, I know a couple KBS mechanics who could join in. Okay. And a neutral will give 220 volt single phase. Cool. Her Pinto nose is always the gas tank blowing up. FaceTime mechanics. Yeah, kind of tickle me fence, something like that. Hey, Trav. The Draco 37-inch bush plane that bloke switch on. I thought that so too. That man built a very nice red plane. My son Dan, also diesel mechanic, attached a hydrogen device to take hydrogen out of water and add to his fuel for something. Doug, I like it, but include boat engines. He could give it a try. Wouldn't cost him anything. Not my cup of tea, Doug, but that's just me. Doug, do you have a laptop connected to Wi-Fi? Yes, Jeannie does. I thought it might be, but the device does something. Doug has been off the couch his whole life. He worked all of his life. You don't need to use your phone. Could be a huge audience. I think he could make a successful YouTube channel by taking common problems and making tutorials. I was all with a gentleman that invented the process of hydrogen injection for over-the-road diesels. Go for it. Doug, is this something that interests you? I wanted to do that with my dad when he retired, because he retired from an auto repair business. He refused to. He said that he was too old. He also wanted to put out a repair book for my dad, huh? Yep, nice clouds. Doug, you are a neutral. My mechanic sons follow lots of similar channels. Doug, you are natural. Okay, anything automotive related interests me. Doug, my first car, 67 Merc Cougar, all controlled by vacuum lines. Oh man, I remember those. Yep, XR7. Larger audience in sailing, so it could be more successful than your channel. As you know, it takes work to build a channel. It certainly does, Lonesome. What do you think? What do you want to do when you grow up? Doug living the life out there. Dogs living life out there. Yep, I checked the boat tour video. The ugly truth one. Do you remember it? Wow, what a score. 2000 straight up winner. Welding, how two channels are cool also. Okay. Thank you, Pump Garage. Doug should go for it. Might be fun with someone else's. Doug, you have Wi-Fi plans. Cover the extra usage. Yes, he does. Doug has excellent high-speed internet. Doug should relax. YouTube is stress keeping Percocet. No, I changed parts. Many real mechanics around anymore. Scott, I'm a self-taught welder. Electrical stuff is so technical, best leave it to experts. Could get a nasty shock. I can't even change a tire. Basic mechanic videos would probably do awesome. Good at voiceovers. Mark most mechanics. Doug, you're still interested in engine repair. I love rebuild engines and high performance. Interaction doing okay. I like the books on tape I did for Doug. Very few book readers, Adam. I have a pop selling question for you, Carl. I doubt there are many in the chat that can answer it either. Haha. Okay. Cool, sounds like a good idea. I gotta like what you do. Is Doug a partner in this fine Cal? No, Doug's not into sailing and cruising, guys. I'm recalling my buddies. Cal had a hell of a head. Okay. Website, pay for audio, voice, and boost. Spoken. When I figure out what I want to be when I grow up, I'll be the first to know. Yeah, right? Ferryman, hydrogen injected, supercharged beast. Can you explain captive reactive, please? Doug, you should make your own ethanol Chernobyl, okay? Doug could just play the part of the channel. No. Self-taught are sometimes the best teachers. Yep, absolutely. I agree with that. Turbo isn't sailing channels, using sails, no need for fossil fuels. Okay, I caught up with the chat, so Live channel for Doug. Okay, so I guess you guys kind of get off on some weird tangents, which is typical for you guys, but I think the general consensus was, Doug, that you should go for it. It was something you should do. Of course, you know, you get on here and you do these live chats and you get a bazillion other answers that have absolutely nothing to do with what the question is that we proposed, but you know, what the hell? You know, we're just trying to come up with some ideas for something for Doug to do. He can't go back to work on a regular job right now. He's just not physically capable. And so if we could come up with something fun and interesting for him to be able to do from the couch, from the living room, where he's not having to get in his car and go driving around or get on the boat. Doug's just not physically able to do that stuff anymore. That's kind of the idea, guys. So you have fun trying to make some cash. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Tickle Me Fun. He would have a lot of fun doing it, and he could make a little cash. So here's an opening line. Hi, I am Doug, and here is my thoughts for life. Okay, Wood Beast. Could just do a vlog and not a live channel. Yeah. Well, the whole idea would be to do something more like, you know, the NPR show where people call in to NPR and ask questions about their cars. Now, Doug wouldn't have the ability of having a switchboard operator and having people call in, but with Super Chat, or with live streams rather, and the chat on here, it wouldn't be necessary. People could just simply get in the chat and ask questions. Make it fun for the audience, be funny, not stall, tell a good story now and then. If it grows, you could take call insurance. Yeah, exactly, Bubba. And if you know Doug and get to know him, you'll know he's full of great stories. So squeeze another horse and a half. Okay. Doug, work on your Fiat on YouTube. I know from experience that they will keep you busy. Yeah, okay, guys, the whole idea is that it's very difficult for Doug to get outside, get work done on stuff like that anymore, okay? Doug could be to you what Ed McMahon was to Johnny Carson. Okay, Bill, Doug's not going to go sailing, so that's not going to work. Having some good rants on there would be awesome, Doug. You look like a guy who can tell a good rant. People love rants. Yeah, Trav, actually, Doug is... yeah, you don't want to get in a car with Doug if you don't want to listen to someone with a lot of rant and a lot of road rage. Doug he really gets PO'd with stupid people driving. In fact, he could almost do a YouTube channel of just watching Doug drive someplace. The problem is he wouldn't be able to monetize any of it because of all the curse words and stuff in it. YouTube would take it down. Q&A sit down show. Something like that, Pilot. Yep. Doug can do it. That's kind of what I was thinking, Carol. His voice sure is a draw. That's what I was thinking, no plastic. I'm loving this chat stream. So many buddies who make decisions on what gets done repair-wise. The sales you mentioned in the ugly video were new, you say, but the motor was pretty average. I'm not really sure what video you're referring to there. Let Doug narrate your video. Bill, that's just not practical. There once was a guy with a Chevy. He thought the car was too heavy. I never doubt someone. Doug is sailing. Thought his health was having a little... Doug is not sailing. Doug is not sailing, okay? Trav, what the hell is a rant? Is that some secret code for chat? Where are you? In New York. Old man, keelboat, carapace rectangle. There's a measure of a capacitor's opposition to alternating current. Okay. Back from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Hey, Dave Marshall, how you doing, buddy? Going down to the boat Mobile, Alabama to install the new AC, GPS, and radar around August 10th. We'll be back in the Northeast around the 25th or so. Okay, well, Dave, I'm going to be leaving Port Washington here on the 13th. And I'm going to be heading over to Woods Hole and should be there sometime like around the 14th, well, let's see, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, something like that. I'm going to be over by Woods Hole. Then I thought I would drop down into Nantucket for a day or so, and then from there head back up to Woods Hole, and then be turning around and going up through the Cape Cod Canal and up to Plymouth, And Gene was talking about getting together and having some kind of a get together or whatever in Boston area. So that's all going to be happening. So sometime after August 15th or so, those things are all going to be going on up there. So if you're going to be back up in the neighborhood, I'd really like to talk to you further about swapping dinghies, because you mentioned about doing that. So let me know, and if you do, I'd love to see some pictures of the dinghy you're talking about, if that's at all possible. Okay, he shipped it down and flipped it around, and now he's gone off sailing. Yes, Doug, would be cool to tell stories and jokes like the kid from Brooklyn. How many hours sailing versus how many hours repairing is the boat and mix? Serious question, is it enough? Boy, that's a hard question to answer. It all depends on the particular boat. I'd have to voice over everything. Hey, Carter Hayes, how you doing? Late party, Carl. What did you get done today? The kid from Brooklyn, Melissa and the Carters, Doug should get together. Think people will support you, Doug, no matter what you do. Seems like a good person. Actually, you have to be. Hope the motivation helps. Thanks, Sailmaster. I appreciate that comment. Boat tour about 3 months ago. The ugly truth. You were raving about the good sales, crap motor, and it was such a good deal. Good win. Okay, well, in retrospect, yes, some of the sales are good. Some of the sales are not so good. My main sail sucks. My main sail is old and saggy and threadbare, but the head sails are all in really good shape. The engine, as it turns out, is in really good shape. It's been clicking along just fine. It's brought me 800 miles so far without a problem. So the ferryman diesel's been working very, very well. We just got here to Port Washington. We've been here for about the last month or so, working on various and sundry projects, which are going to get wrapped up here in the next 13 days. So, and then we'll be getting out and getting moving again. So, okay. Carl, make the hop over to Block Island on the way up. Steve, I'm going to be stopping there, yes. They have a mechanic section. Doug can get paid for answering car questions. Never done it myself. Yeah, Paulie D, he's done that before and then never got paid. He got involved with other sites like that where he answered a bunch of questions and then they actually never paid him for it. So he's a little leery about doing something like that. I figured if he started his own YouTube channel doing it, that he would have much more success and better control over that. So, which is just amazing. I looked at early vids showing the ugly truth. Okay, well, thank you, man. I appreciate you watching those. In sailing terms, comes the word fetch, describe, or define. It's a hard one. I think it is used in both a noun and an adverb in terms of sailing. Okay. Thanks to all of you. I appreciate the input. Get together in Boston sounds cool. Fenway Park. Beers, chats, let's get it on. Some fine ladies in Massachusetts. Okay. Fetch me a beer. There you go. Good idea. Paulie, David, it's when you're reaching usually hypnotic clouds. I got some input from you. That's my New York humor. What a beautiful sky tonight. Fetch you. Okay. Doug, half reminder of the radio show from the early 80s when I used to work on Saturdays. Paulie D, I've been there and done that. Not very lucrative. Yep. I have lots of heads for you and a lot of new parts and new hoses. I will bring dink. Works well. No traded, needed, have new dink. Oh, okay. All right, David, that'd be awesome, man. In that vid tour, Ugly, you said the previous owner bought new sails, stored them, and they were on. Yeah, well, he bought new head sails, not main sails. But yeah, it'll work. It's just not great. The sails that I have are functional. They work. It's just my main sail's in pretty bad shape. So, on YouTube, had you not seen the sails yet when you raved about them and how well? Yes, I saw the sails, Lonesome. Okay, guys, there's more than one. So, yes, some of the sails are fine, really in good shape, but one of them is not. Not a big deal, guys. Man, you guys just take everything just so literal. It's like, I say something about one thing and you apply it to everything in the world. You guys really need to chill out, man. The distance over which the wind can blow unobstructed by land before reaching the observer. The distance which affects the Seas can travel unobstructed by land before reaching the observer. Okay. Okay, that sky is so beautiful. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and give you guys a little. Okay, there's a look at the developing sunset. Still kind of bright yet, but it's getting that kind of nice orangey glow is developing. We should have a nice sunset here in the bay this evening. So we greet under Carlskin. We greet. I don't know what you're talking about. No, you contradict yourself and confuse us on what is real. Mainsail restricted, restitched with no big deal. Yeah, slipstream, the cloth itself I don't think is in good enough shape to bother getting it restitched. So I don't think I'm going to look at doing that. I think I'm going to look to getting it replaced. The sail is old. It's the original. Okay, it's the original sail from 1974. It's the original sail that came on the boat. It's saggy and has lost its shape. It needs to be replaced. Thumbs up. When did those sloops leave? Early this morning, Trav. Yeah, those two sloops. Actually, they came over and anchored right next to my boat last night. The two America's Cup 42s came over and anchored right near me. And then early this morning, almost at first light, they all pulled out of here. So what are you looking to catch out there? Nothing at the moment. Yes, Carter Hayes, I agree. Yep. But those clouds are a forewarning. There's bad weather coming. Actually, we've got like our 10-day forecast right now is 9 days of rain. So it's going to get kind of rainy here. Tomorrow, I'm hoping it's not raining first thing in the morning because I want to get out here. And now that it's dried, I want to sand the repair work that I did to the fiberglass so I can get that sanded and smooth and ready so that when we get the push pit welded on Thursday, we can go ahead and get all that installed. So we'll see what's going on with that. Okay. Okay, looking to catch out there. Okay, peaceful. Some of those fish have had bad bugs in their flesh, make a fella sick. What's left to be done in the next 13 days? Okay, we're going to spend a day on the engine, oil change, air breather cleaning, oil filter change, fuel filter change. We have to spend a day tracking down the wiring to the mast and figuring out where the disconnect is on that. I'm working on trying to get a new depth founder installed. Not new, but new to me. A viewer is going to be shipping that to me hopefully here soon. And so I'll have that and be able to mount it and see if we can get that working because I don't have a really good working depth sounder. And then we're trying to debug the autopilot and get that functioning. So those are kind of the major jobs that I really want to get done before I take off out of here. Has the best sunsets, heads down. After you peep your beep at the beep, you take a straw and beep it in there. Okay. 42 American Cup sloops. Yep, 42-foot America's Cup sloops. Yep. Okay, any sharks out there? None that I'm aware of. I take it the welder did not work. If so, bummer. Bummer, Bubba, I think the welder is going to work perfectly if we can just get power to it. We're working on getting power to it. So, gone sailing here in the bay yesterday. There was two America's Cup 42 boats. That's what it said on the side of the boat, America's Cup 42. They're black with black sails. They were here in the race around Long Island, New York, that went on the last couple of days. But I think there are a couple of the retired America's Cup boats that are just being used for racing now. I don't know why people get fired up, and I've watched for a while, but then you get mad and we'll disregard the input. Okay, well, Sailmaster, what can I tell you? We will see in the video, but did you sand and bevel the new glass work? I have not done it yet. No, that's what I said. I have to get to the sanding, so. Okay, dang, I'm late again. Hey, Jeffrey. Beautiful, looked them up on Google. Yeah, Trav, they are beautiful boats. That is true. Autopilot has been taken off list for now. No, I just said, no, I've got to work on getting the autopilot back together again, no plastic. No, it's not off the list. Very definitely not off the list. The autopilot, the mast lights, those are the things that need to be getting done. All right, so yeah, what's my biggest catch? Actually, I don't even know anymore. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can only imagine what it's like one day we'll both eat together. Both eat together again. Okay. All right, well, whatever. Anyhow, I guess I caught up with the chat there, so there we go. All right. Ugh. There you go, guys. There's the sunset beginning to develop. Beautiful, huh? All right, there you got a little sunset view. Your ex was probably your biggest catch. Yeah, maybe. 90-pound wahoo. There you go. That's a nice sized fish. Tickle me fin. They'll both be together again. Hey, Carol. How's Lily today? Lily is fine. Where did she go? Ah, well, Lily's down below sleeping, as usual. She got done. She actually came up on deck and she walked around on deck, but there's really nothing going on in the bay today, guys. I mean, there's like hardly any boats here. I mean, look at this. That big hole in the mooring field. There's no boats over there. There's a bunch of empty mooring balls right now. So there's nobody really moving around. Nobody really doing anything. I see one dinghy. I see one dinghy moving out there in the bay, way over on the other side. And I see one power boat over by the town dock moving. But that's it in the entire bay. I mean, everything out here is quiet. When I got the water taxi to come back to the boat after getting back from Doug's, it took the water taxi guy like 5 minutes to come over to the dock and pick me up. Normally when he says 5 minutes, I can look out there and see the boat. So, hey, Jeffrey Madsen, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Jeffrey just hit $20 on the super chat. Awesome, guy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, dude. 382-pound big eye tuna, Frank. That's nice. 45-pound strap bass of Block Island. Nice, Gene. Over a one-legged meter man from a local co-op. Oh, no. Lily's sailing the boat. Yeah, Lily's snoring the boat at the moment. So, yeah, Jeffrey, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it, ma'am. Thought that towel was your sail. No, that towel is just a towel hanging up drying. So, in the chat, did not know what the sailing term fetch meant. One that responded with the correct answer. I didn't know we had to respond, David. Just think it would be helpful for single-handed sailing. Hope you catch a break on fixing it. Yes, it will get fixed. No plastic. It'll either get fixed or it'll get replaced. One or the other. So, Texas Tower, Belmont, New Jersey. Cool. Dinner on me, bro. Oh, okay, cool, man. Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate it, man. Caesar, hang in there. Frank, Stacy, and I were in deep water, and a fish dumped a 50 wide. Never seen it. Huh. Yeah, well, tickle me fin. We've all had those stories. I've had numerous times when I've hooked something on and it just, despite my best efforts, cleaned all the line off of a reel. I've had that happen more than once, but nice job, except moving the things in the way, usually not bad as it seems when you start. Yeah, Bubba, you're absolutely correct. It's mostly the electrical stuff is going to be just moving a bunch of shit out of the way. I have to tear up the entire settee area, tear apart the staircase, and tear apart the 2/4 berth. So a lot of stuff has to be moved out of the way so I can trace those down. So, yep. Anyhow, beautiful sunset, but it looks like the clouds are going to get pretty big over there on the horizon. I was hoping we would have a better sunset than that. It was really beginning to shape up, but now it looks like it's kind of petering out. So, it's still beautiful no matter what, though. Sometimes easier to pull new wire than try to track everything down. Yeah, Doug, you may absolutely be correct. And that may, in fact, be what I do. So, what do you have for a battery bank? Scott Joyce, I have 2 batteries. I have one house battery and one engine start battery. Sorry to hear that, Caesar. Right on, Doug. True, Doug. I'm sure Carl can do it. You're welcome to come join the Heman Woman Haters Club. Who's Peter? I don't know who's Peter. Huh. I wonder if I am missing some comments. I didn't see any comment from Caesar. You guys are all referring to a comment from Caesar, and I didn't see one, so I'm going to just mark that off as some sort of troll stuff going on. Looks a lot better than Kentucky Sunset I'm watching. Okay, Jeffrey, sorry about that. No, Carter, I don't know if Sailing Lonesome got mad or not. I just went ahead and bumped them. And how dare you call her a hoe? Guess what? She's not yours anymore. Okay. I use boat trailer wire for several things, multiple color-coded wires. Yep. Let's switch to live chat. I did switch to live chat, Doug. I am on live chat. So I don't know why I missed something, but oh, now the chat went way back. Oh, I'll tell you guys, going back and trying to read the chat and responding to everybody is a pain in the butt. I am spending a lot of time sitting here wasting time just thumbing through this, trying to see what I missed. Just use a closed dryer outlet. Yeah, we looked at that in Florida. Unfortunately, Doug's closed dryer outlet is a 50 amp, not a 30 amp. It has the wrong plug configuration. Girlfriend broke up with him. Oh, okay. Well, sorry to hear that, man. Yep, if your woman leaves, let her go, man. You're better off without her. I needed to run along. Good night, everybody. Hey, Carol, take care. Have you seen the America's Cup design? Yeah, I've seen some of it. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you, Mike. You know, I think at this point, it's pretty much generally accepted that catamarans are the direction that sailing is going in. And I think all of this, you know, wing and foil and all this other kind of design stuff is just just sort of a distraction from that. So, but that's my personal opinion, and I know a lot of people will disagree with that. So, yeah, Frank, when you're on the live chat, you see all the comments. When you're on top chat, you only see some. Adapter to plug into that welder. Yeah. Yeah, but it's cheaper, Sailmaster, for us just to go ahead and wire the welder up correctly than it would be to go out and buy an adapter for it. So, but there are no monoholes. Foiling is the new speed technology. Okay, why did Mike Smith delete that? It's all good till it flips over. Oh, I fixed it right. Good night, Jared. Okay. Yeah, stickle me fan. I hear you. Catamarans, everyone talks about catamarans flip over, but you know, better to be upside down and floating than right side up on the bottom. You know? Oh, it's just a little different concept, that's all. Hopefully I'm going to look at a nice looking Hunter 36 next month. Oh, that'd be cool, man. That would be really cool. Those can be pretty nice boats as long as you get one of the newer versions of them. Hey, no effing way, how you doing? Mike retracted his own message. He did, yep. Beautiful night out there. Who's on board? Just me and Lily, that's it. Just it, guys. And you know what? There's 125 people watching and only 27 thumbs up, guys. Come on, pound a thumbs up. You can do it. It won't cost you anything. Hunters are the worst, keel and mast troubles. It depends on what year you buy them, Bill. That's why I say if you buy one of the newer Hunters, one of the new Marlowe Hunters, they're a whole different ball game than the old Hunters were. America's Cup boats are now monohulls. Yep. Right, for $5,500. Okay. The lines for the dialysis machines aren't long enough. Yep. Can you do a 360 turn with the camera? Yeah, I'll do that here in just a minute. I was wondering how seaworthy they are. They're a coastal cruiser type boat. I wouldn't cross an ocean to one. All the trips to Lowe's, etc., and the fuses, all wiring, and it's easy time and money. But the 50 to 30 is like 12 bucks. Well, yeah, but we didn't have a 50 to 30, so. Anyway, you want a 360. So there's the sunset. There we are looking around the bay. Oh, there's the water taxis out doing a tour. Water taxi's right smack in front of you now, guys. Anyhow, there's the bay looking up that way. Let me get up high enough you can see over my gas cans. Let's look into the east. We're looking to the south. And back around to the west. There you go. There's a 360 of the bay. Ellie and I might be closer to living on board a boat than we ever thought we would be. Hey, Frank, that would be cool, man. What, you're going to have to tell me about that. If I hit the lotto, I'd call gunboat tomorrow. Hey, tickle me fin. Yeah, you got that right. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know that I would go gunboat. Gunboats are really good, fast boats, but I don't know that I would want something that tuned for speed as much as I would like just a big old comfortable fat cruising catamaran. So, Island Packet, any thoughts? Kiwa Island Packets are extraordinarily good, high quality boats. Without a doubt, Island Packet is one of the top boats for a monohull. No questions. I would not hesitate to take on an Island Packet. So, check the clouds. I had 4-foot draft, plenty shallow water here. Yeah, well then a catamaran is the way to go, Bubba. Pearson Triton the bomb. Okay. Thumbed you. Thank you. Frank, that's wonderful. I hope to get a Lagoon 45 someday. Carter Hayes, you and me both. America's Cup is what Formula One is to NASCAR. The technology trickles down. Think about what sail material has gone. Well, that's true, Steve. You're absolutely correct. Aluminum brackets on bottom of rudder that fail. Well, I'm sure, Bill, we could find something that every boat manufacturer has that is a problem. But as a general rule, Island Packets make beautiful boats that hold up well. Good Coastal Bay cruiser would not go across an ocean with one. Yep. Thanks so much, Carl. You're really kind despite what many others say about you on Reddit, etc. Yeah, well, what can you do, man? Water taxi guy should wave. Commander is a small person. He's on a long story. Actually amazing. An effort to do that. Use whiskey in the compass, or is it just a saying? Actually, I think they still use alcohol. Not whiskey, but alcohol. Allberg 30, okay. Looking at a Cat Lagoon, but pricey as hell. Yeah, lagoons are nice boats, though. They have their issues, but they're nice boats. Every boat has some issue. What was the cat that Bob Diddle had on Sailing Doodles? Bob was on a Lagoon 440 that had the steering mechanism break, and he fried an engine in it too, I believe. Cigatera in a previous video. Yes, Popeye, I have Cigatera. For the money, I'm old, take on big project. Okay. Scott, Reddit is where dumb people go to pretend smart. Yeah, Ghost, I agree with that. Vanguard's masterpiece by Phil Rhodes. Okay. But it was not Bobby's fault. Okay. I'm going to agree with that, Pilot. I think, like any other boat, you know, there are certain maintenance issues that various boats have. I think the Lagoon have a design failure in the way their engine compartments are set up. They allow moisture to get down in there to the framework that holds the steering mechanisms. I also think the Lagoons have insufficient substructure underneath the floors inside of the pontoons. That needs to be beefed up somewhat from what they have. But those two issues aside, I think they're a pretty good, solid cruising boat. There's just some design functions that over time and experience that we learn about. And it's like anything else with any other boat. You know, it takes a certain amount of time and experience to figure out all the things that are going to go wrong or really where their weaknesses are. So, I have no idea what kind of plane that is. So, nice Pearson Vanguard. Okay. The dude is chilling on his boat at sunset. Reddit. There you go. Think the Lagoons are ugly as sin. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I really like the Lagoons. I think the Lagoon 440 is one of my all-time favorite boats. Not the prettiest boat in the world, but certainly one of my favorite boats. So, it's like terror in the diaper department. Yep. Not pleasant at all. When it comes to answers, doesn't hold a candle to Carl Brook. Tell him, Carl. Well, thanks, Sailmaster. I appreciate that. But, you know, anybody that's doing this long enough, you're going to get all kinds of assholes out there. And so you just ignore it. And that's what I'm trying to do, guys. Let's move on. The guy that bought that Lagoon should have paid to have a survey done, not inspected by Bob. You know, Adam to Florida, I agree with you 1,000%. Yes. Bob is not a boat inspector. Bob should not have been relied upon to go and inspect a Lagoon 440. He absolutely should have had a survey done on that boat. Let's those sails up tonight and rack up some donations. Yeah, it's not going to happen, man. An inspection every year. It's called an annual. Yep. Carl has an answer for everything. It's amazingly informative. I'm hooked. Well, I don't know if I have an answer for everything, but I try to maybe point you in the right direction. They're waiting to happen. Yes, Steve, I agree with you. The whole mechanism, the whole cable steering mechanism underneath the Lagoon system is problematic. You know, I thought they had gotten some of that stuff solved, and maybe they did. You know, when you buy a boat that comes out of charter, quite often the charter companies, you know, jerry-rig all kinds of weird stuff underneath the boats. When I saw the damage that was done on the boat that Bob was on, it looked to me like somebody down island had gotten in there and had monkeyed around with stuff and didn't put insufficient structure behind what they were doing. You know, when you look down there and you see people sticking 2x4s and stuff in there, that's just not right. Somebody tore something up on that. Somebody hit a rock and tore a rudder up or something and caused some damage. And I think somebody did a very poor job of kind of piecing it back together again. At least that was my take on what happened with that Lagoon 440 that Bob was on. But you know, then again, I was not on the boat itself, so I really don't have a legitimate argument. So overpriced and overrated. Takes a gale to move them and do not point. Well, Bill, I disagree with all of that, but okay. All the channels I watch, I love the cat that the winds are on, just don't remember the type. Yeah, the Gone with the Winds ended up buying a Leopard, if I remember correctly. They're on a Leopard catamaran. And they sail well just like a cow. Well, I don't know about that. Leopard probably, yep. Gene Prom, thanks old man. Bahamas, baby, I turned on international. I will live stream from there. There you go, Sailmaster. Yep, it's Leopard 48. Johnny Hag, I don't think it was a 48. I think they're on like a Leopard 42 or maybe a 45. I don't think it was quite a 48. So, why am I having power issues? There we go. That should take care of that. Bob has a lot more ability than some. I think he sails a lot and has hot crew. That's all true. You can donate to Carlos Cause, PayPal. There you go, Frank. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Choily Bermuda Catch. Good. That was like a dream. Okay. What am I drinking tonight? I am drinking mandarin flavored tonic water with a little bit of grenadine and some vodka in it. I had 40-foot Wood Liberty launch back in the 80s, used to shrimp and netfish. Cool. Looks like wine. Yeah, it does look a little bit like rosé, doesn't it? 44. Okay. Yeah, it could be a 44, something in that size range. I don't think it was a 48. I don't think it was quite that big. But it very well might have been a 44 or something like that. So let me sit you guys down for a minute. Judge Cal does. Carl will try it out and advise. Yeah, I don't. The cats don't ever point as much as a mono. I will concede that point. But I think they do a really fine job. So. And you can't argue the space and the comfort. Right now, late night strain. There you go. Power problems again. I'll sort this out. Nope, no power problems. I just put my battery pack on it thanks to Frank. My buddy Frank sent me a little battery operated power pack to power my phone with, so we're good for a while now. I'll go starting the angles are wrong and the cable tears up the pulleys, okay? Does the outhole of your main work pretty smooth? No, it doesn't actually. I can watch from my house. There you go. All right. I love the Choi Lees, okay? Well, there's a sad note. I'm out of drink. Popeye the Sailorman says, well, Carl, I got to say you came a long way since I first started trolling you. I'm actually glad to see you are doing well. You'll never know how much evening entertainment your chats have been. Oh, Popeye, I know you trolls have been having a lot of fun with it and whatever. I really don't give a rat's ass. Might be loose-footed. Should send Doug a link from the Hangout so he can join the stream live. Doug is on the live stream, so... cats don't point because they don't have to. Okay, Steve. Yeah, well, I think they have to, but, Yeah, Scott Joyce, I not going to go there. So, is your next sailing leg an easy sail? Yeah, it's pretty much going to be an easy sail. Just straight out Long Island Sound. Just heading straight east. It's going to be pretty simple. Just depends on what the weather is at the time. So, and no plastic. I really hope to be able to get the sails up. Now that I have the boat set up for that, I really hope to get the sails up. So, anyone Doug could talk to. Okay. Better go fix another. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for the live stream to be over. Yes, Popeye, I know you were complimenting me, but at this point, your compliments are met with reservation. Let's just put it that way. Okay? So, longer streams in this, repetitive and cell chats. Thanks, no more flat batteries. Yep. Frank, we could be talked out of ours. Okay. Have you ever heard the saying, familiarity breeds contempt, and do you believe that's true? Sure, absolutely. Let's do a shot in the beer I'm pouring right now. Hey, man, that'd be nice, Sailmaster. Yep. contributor, please clarify. Popeye is not a long-time viewer. He's been viewing some, and he's certainly not a contributor. So, yeah, respect is earned, pilot, absolutely. I think I should start a service for females where I could talk sexy to them. Yeah, Doug wants to talk dirty to women. Oh, that would be funny, man. Now playing Talking Doug, yeah. I don't know, there's some guys out there that just have a voice like Doug's that women love to hear talk. So I don't know, it might be weird. So Sailmaster, massive night on the bottle tonight. Probably can't remember much in the morning. Thought nice to see you here. Massive night. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I've only had very little tequila so far this evening. Carl, put up the rag. What is the worst that can happen? It blows out and you have a good head sail. Steve, when the time comes, I'm going to do that. Started watching you in the Erie Canal. I know, Popeye. I understand that, but there's been people that have been watching me for 2 years, long before I entered the Erie Canal. Doug could tighten loose women. Oh, God, Carter. Oh, man. Doug could be the new Isaac Hayes on YouTube. Yeah, he's got one of those voices, that, that all the ladies would like to listen to, so. Yeah, actually, I think if Doug were to do a car talk type of a live stream like I suggested, or something similar to that, I think you would probably have a very large female audience just listening to his voice. So that is until I saw a picture of what he actually looked like, and then I don't know. So, oh, major turn on, just the two of you in a hot tub. Man, you guys have some really weird ideas. On a second can of spinach. How about another drink, Carl? I've been watching when you bought your first cow. Do you wish you had that boat back, or do you like this one more? Scott Joyce, I really liked, when you say you watched since my first cow was a cow 30 that I owned in Pacific Northwest, and I didn't have a YouTube channel then. So you no doubt didn't watch me on my first cow. You probably saw my second cow, which was my cow 31 that I had up in Alaska. And I did like that boat, but that boat had a bad compression post, which would be a major job to have to fix up. And the fact is, the way that boat is designed, it just didn't have a lot of really good usable room. This cow 29, even though it's 2 feet shorter, is much more user-friendly for living aboard and doing what I'm doing. So no, I actually prefer the cow 29 over any of the other cows that I've owned before. So for me on the bottle tonight. Oh, okay, I get it. Does Peter still work the boats? I have no idea who Peter is, man. First cow on YouTube, obviously. Yes, yeah, my first cow on YouTube was my cow 31 up in Alaska. Didn't you almost sink one of your cows? Yeah, my cow 31. I was returning to the harbor one day, and I looked down below. Lily came back up from down below, and her paws were wet. And I was like, uh-oh. No, we didn't almost nearly sink it, but the packing gland on the engine was really bringing in way too much water while we were motoring. As soon as I stopped motoring, it stopped dripping and there was no flow from it at all. But while it was running, it was just gushing in. So, but yeah, and the bilge pump wasn't on. So apparently while the bilge pump was on, it was keeping the boat dry. So anyhow, we got that sorted out and fixed. But we never had more than 6 inches of water inside on the floor. So it's not like we were anywhere near sinking it, but. American, all ships at sea. There you go. Cow 230, or was it the first version? No, it was just a cow 30 and a cow 31 that I own, not the 2 versions. How since you had some ladies company, as in You know, too long a question. Oh man. Was originally built for World War II Normandy Beach veteran also. Oh wow, cool. That's cool, Trav. I really on alcohol and maybe Mike Donegan. Nah, I've got plenty of alcohol. Great to command a high price. Yeah, Cal 40s are nice. There was one of the YouTube channels, one of the manufacturers that makes some of the roller furlings and stuff did a really nice rebuild of a Cal 40. So, order stuff big one. Yeah. Doctor changing my medication causes. Supposed to get the beer. Huh. Well, David, I'm sorry to hear about all that, man. Just ran the store to get more Keystone Light. Oh gosh. Shot of Fireball. Man, if you like Fireball, you can come meet with me and I'll give you this bottle of Fireball. I'm not a big fan of it. I know Mike Donegan thought it was good stuff, but I'm not a big fan of Fireball. I guess I'm supposed to mix the Fireball with the apple flavored whiskey and it's supposed to make a candy apple. I think they call the drink, but I guess it's just not my thing. I don't like those kinds of drinks, I guess. Cheers when you get your channel rolling. Yeah. Keystone Light. Yeah, Gene, there you go. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that, you know, we could convince Doug to do that. I think Doug needs to start his own YouTube channel. I think he would get a lot of fun out of that. I think he would enjoy that a lot. There's always a negative side, you know, dealing with the asshole trolls and stuff, but you know, I think Doug would be able to develop a good core group of folks that have an interest in what he's talking about and would like to watch him. And it wouldn't hurt for him to have a little revenue from that. You know, I think that would generate more revenue than a lot of channels would. So, just my thinking. But anyhow, guys, look, the sun has set. We're way over the hour mark here, and I'm tired. And I'm a little hoarse anyway. So it's all about the hops and barley. There you go. So I'm going to go ahead and end this, I believe. And you guys are typing these great big huge chat comments here. There's no way I'm going to be able to read them. So I'm probably not going to do it. So before I sign off here, though, I'm going to go ahead and thanks, Pilot. I'm going to go ahead and ask everybody to do a shameless shout out. If you have a YouTube channel, go ahead and give yourself a plug and talk about your channel a little bit. Try to get some people to subscribe to you. That'd be great. If you want to do that. If not, then, you know, well, then don't. But I'm giving you the opportunity to try to attract some subscribers now, should you wish to try doing that. So, okay. Call me if you can after show. All right, Frank, will do. All right, kids. If not, we'll have more for you tomorrow, kids. Bye.